This is Into Math 3rd grade, lesson 10.4. Use place value to subtract. I can regroup first and then use place value to subtract 2 and 3-digit numbers. Please gather your workbook and a pencil and turn to page 284. You can pause at any time and we will start under Build Understanding Part 1. How many more tickets were sold for Saturday than for Sunday? We do notice that there is a chart here that says ticket sales. On one day it says Saturday and they have a total of 439, and the other day, Sunday, they have a total of 287. So let's take a look at part A. Write the problem in the chart. If you would like to pause and try this on your own, you can do so and come back. Otherwise, you can follow along with me. For Saturday, we show that there are 439 tickets sold. So that's 4 hundreds, 3 tens, and 9 ones. And then on Sunday, there were 287, meaning there were 208 tens and 7 ones. Part B asks us to look at the digits in each place. Are there enough ones to subtract, tens to subtract, and hundreds to subtract? Explain. So we're going to look at each one. First, we have 9 ones here and 7 to take away. It looks like we have enough there. When we look at the next column, the tens column, we show that there are 3 tens and they're going to have us take away 8. So we don't have enough. 3 is smaller than 8 in the tens column. Then we take a look at the hundreds column and there are 4 hundreds and we would need to take away 2. So we do have enough hundreds in the hundreds column. I can explain my thinking by writing that there are enough ones to subtract 7 ones from the 9 ones. There are not enough tens to subtract 8 tens from the 3 tens. And there are enough hundreds to subtract the 2 hundreds from the 4 hundreds. Now let's take a look at part C. How can you regroup first to subtract in each place? Let's remember the connective vocabulary. You have learned how to regroup place values, and that means to rename a number. And they give us an example here of 3 tens and 8 ones can really be regrouped to make 2 tens and 18 ones. As a reminder, we will regroup when you do not have enough in any of the place values. So let's take a look at the problem that they have started and wanted us to complete. We will start as usual in the ones column. We have 9 and we are taking away 7. So we are going to say that there are 2 remaining when you take 7 away from 9. Okay, let's take a look at the next group. We have the number 3 and 8, meaning there are 3 tens and 8 tens, and we cannot take 8 tens away from 3 tens. So we're going to go over to the hundreds, which is this 4. We're going to cross it out. We're going to say we're no longer going to have 4 hundreds. We're going to take 1 away. And I know that 4 take away 1 makes 3. So now I will have 3 hundreds, and I'm going to take that group of tens, that 10, I'm adding 10, but I'm not just adding it by itself. There were 3 tens here before. So it's really saying that we're saying here's 10 tens from the 100, and we already have 3. So we are going to create a new number. We're going to combine those place values and we're going to make 13. So now we have 13 take away 8, which we can solve because 13 is a bigger number than 8. And we will find when we take 8 away from 13, we are going to get the number 5. So we can write here that when you have 13 tens take away 8 tens, you will have 5 tens remaining. And I'm not finished yet because I still have the hundreds column. So now I will subtract 2 from 3. So those are the 2's. Remember, we crossed out the 4, so it doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't belong there. So we have 3 take away 2, and that would give us 1. So we can answer part D. How many more tickets were sold for Saturday than for Sunday? We can answer 152 more tickets. Let's look at part E. How does regrouping first help you to subtract? I can explain my thinking that when there are not enough ones, tens, or hundreds to subtract, I can regroup first to make sure that each place value has enough ones, tens, or hundreds to subtract. Let's take a look at the next page, page 285, part 2. Some people are at the festival in the morning. In the afternoon, 243 more people arrive. Then there are 561 people at the festival. How many people were at the festival in the morning? Part A asks us to use the chart to write the problem. If you'd like to pause and try this on your own and come back, you may do so, or follow along with me. So we know that there is a total of 561 people. So we're going to go ahead and write that in as our total amount, 561, into the chart. And we do know that in the afternoon, there were 243 more people that arrived. So we can go ahead and write in 243 that arrived, and they were adding to the morning people. So we want to find the morning people. We need to take away that afternoon people, which would be this 243. Okay, great. Now let's look at part B. Do you need to regroup to subtract the ones? Explain. Well, let's take a look at the ones column. We see that we are going to need to take 3 away from 1, and we know that we cannot do that. So yes, we will need to regroup to subtract the ones column, and we can explain. We can say yes, 3 is greater than 1, so there are not enough ones to subtract 3 ones from 1 1. Let's look at part C. How can you regroup the ones? Explain. So I know there's not enough here in the ones 1 to subtract the 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go next to this 6 tens, and I'm going to take one of those tens and break it apart and bring it over to my ones so that I will have more ones to take away this 3. But now I no longer have 6 tens, I have 5 tens, and I no longer have 1 1, I have 11 ones. So I'm going to explain my thinking. I can regroup 6 tens and 1 1 as 5 tens and 11 ones. Now it asks me to record my subtraction. If you would like to pause and try this on your own, you may do so and come back, and otherwise you can follow along with me. So we have already shown how we have taken 6 tens and 1 1 and regrouped them. So we cross these out and we regroup them as shown here to make 5 groups of 10 and 11 ones, just like we did here in this picture. So now we can do our subtraction. We can say 11 take away 3 in our ones column, and that would give us 8 left over. Then we move on to our tens column, and we have 5, and we're asked to take 4 away. And when we do that, we are left with 1 10 left over. And then to complete the problem, we go to the hundreds column, and we have 5 take away 2, which we know gives us 3 hundreds left over. So we can answer part D. How many people were at the festival in the morning? There were 318 people. If you would like to go back and re-watch this video, you may do so and pause along the way as needed.